how do you know? How do you know that you know? How to proceed with an idea, a material, stick with it, or start afresh? How do you know that you know? In some sense, it's connected to your training, your skills, and also your experiential knowledge, your personal circumstances, experiences of impasse or of ease, of access or lack of it, on all levels, deeply affects not only how you know what you know, and more concretely, what you want to know and how you want to know what you want to know. So how do you know that this is the right move and not a no-no? You could say it's in the memory of your own work, what your work has taught you about making work, even as it challenges you. Literally, it's about going it blind, deaf and dumb, yet in full antenna mode. The antenna might be pointed out there, but it's grounded in you. And at that point, you don't know it, but you're sort of stretched between the stars and the earth, and everything is coming out to play. So I want to look at this as a way of working that feels like a stretch, or making contact that creates a sort of giving, like when you're swimming or singing, and it turns your body, your entire being into a navigational tool. And just as I'm writing this in the library, someone has sat down across from me. They've opened their computer, and on the cover, there's a large sticker that says, "Go with your gut." Go with your gut. Know that you know, even though you don't. It's a knowing at the level of your second brain, your gut brain, that sends you these signals, fills your belly up with butterflies. It prepares your idea or your next move at the level of microbes and neurons. Now, of course, this bodily knowing is largely unformed at first. It's more like a passing intuition, strong protective instincts that you might recognize from danger, from social or familial threat, and which is why you might not initially recognize it as positive beyond survival and might not act on it. So for your own work, you have to work it. You train it up. You train yourself up to recognize it, because it can become extremely useful, a guide for your perception about your ideas and especially about the way forward when it's scary, because it crystallizes both known and unknown dimensions of your work and of the timing and the placing of your work. In philosophy or phenomenology, it's about felt meaning, or even the felt sense that they also talk about in psychotherapy, based on physical sensations, that release contours of thinking and of feeling. And these are the ones that provide the initial steps that can help you contain or expand from these, so that you can learn, recognize them, and process and harness them. It's a somatic experience of learning, and perhaps of healing. And it's learning how to work and be in antenna reception mode that interests me here. It's like your whole body being tuned in to listen. In many ways, you could say it's a root of creativity, these contours, this flow of gladness and warmth, that sudden connection that comes when something hits the right chord somewhere and somehow you've heard it through your work. It's something we've otherwise largely forgotten to trust, and at our own peril. And pragmatically, of course, it's also extremely useful when you need to slow your spinning, stop your pushing, your overblowing, overthinking, over-editing. Basically, you stop beating yourself up over a project or an impasse. You just stop and you start listening in. It's beyond personal taste, intelligence, cultural agenda, and obviously It's not uneasy, can be really challenging, throws up new questions. It asks you to perhaps abandon trusted ways, might challenge what you thought you're supposed to do. Low blows seemingly out of nowhere, forces you to shake your tree, untow your own line, even to fall off. It forces you to renew your courage to be out there by standing in here for a while. So all in all, you know that you know when you're out of your head, down in the gut, you're being led through the entire nervous system, you've got goosebumps or glowworms, you feel strange and elated, you're cold sweating, there's that heat in your belly, that persistent pull, and it's all like a shock. It's so quick, it all happens in just a matter of seconds, but you can actually feel it, how it moves everything inside of you, and how you grow ever more aware of how it works you. Beyond all the contortions and distortions and adjustments to social cultural power, you can feel that bodily tuning, that stretch of being. When you are in your timing, you're suddenly in that felt dimension, that glow blow or glow show inside of making work, inside your being. And that's when you know that you know that you know all you need to know, to trust and work with it, and to be in that moment.